I have two problems for you on volume and surface area. A cylinder has a volume of 2009.6 cubic inches. It has a diameter of 16 inches. What is the height of the cylinder? Although a cylinder is not a prism, we can treat it like a prism when we are finding the volume. It has two parallel bases separated by a certain height. So what is the formula to find the volume of a cylinder? V equals pi r squared times height. Important information in the problem. 2009.6 cubic inches is the volume of the cylinder. 16 inches is the diameter of the cylinder. So we need to find the radius because it's not given. So we can find the radius by taking the diameter divided by 2. So 16 divided by 2 is 8 inches. Now that we have all the information we need, let's solve the problem. What do we need to find first? The height of the cylinder. Here are the steps to solve the problem. So the equation, the formula V equals pi r squared times height. So the volume is 2009.6 equals 3.14, which is pi, 8 squared times height. The first thing we need to do is square the 8, which is 64, as seen right there, seen right here. So now we have to multiply 3.14 times 64, because we're trying to get h by itself. So that will equal 200.96 h. So to get rid of the h by itself, we have to divide 200.96 on each side, like shown here, and we get 10 inches for the height. So the answer is the height of the cylinder is 10 inches. That is the first problem dealing with volume. The next problem. The volume of a rectangular prism is 273 cubic feet. If the prism is 6 feet long and 13 feet wide, what is the surface area of the prism? So the important information in the problem. The first one is 273 cubic feet is the volume of the rectangular prism. 6 feet is the length of the prism, and 13 feet is the width of the prism. What are we trying to find in the problem? The surface area of the rectangular prism. We know that the rectangular prism has 3 pairs of congruent faces. By knowing this, we can figure out the formula for the surface area. So we need to find what the formula for the surface area is, which is surface area equals 2 times length times width plus 2 times length times height plus 2 times width times height, as shown right here. We need to find the height because it's not given. So we need to know the formula for the volume of the rectangular prism so we can find the height so we can find the surface area. So the volume of a rectangular prism is, the formula is V equals length times width times height. So let's find the height. So V equals length times width times height. So the volume is 273 feet cubed equals 6 times 13 times height. So 6 times 13 is 78 each. So you divide 78 on each side to get 3.5 feet for the height. So the 3.5 feet is the height. So here's all the information that we have for the surface area formula. Length is 6 feet, width is 13 feet, and height is 3.5 feet. Since now we have all the information, let's find the surface area now. Surface area equals 2 times length times width plus 2 times length times height plus 2 times width times height. So the surface area is 2 times 6 times 13, because 6 is the length, and the width is 13, plus 2 times 6 times 3.5 I mean, plus 2 times 13 times 3.5. Surface area equals 156 plus 42 plus 91. So it equals 289 feet squared, because we're talking about surface area, so we square it. So the surface area of the rectangular prism is 289 feet squared. Now I have a bonus question for you. Here's the bonus question. Mr. Shore is putting a fence around his backyard. The yard is 250 feet long and 100 feet wide. He only needs to fence 3 sides of the yard, so he leaves one of the 100-foot sections unfenced. If the fence materials cost $5 per yard, how much will Mr. Shore spend on the fence materials? You cannot buy less than a whole yard at a time. So the important information in this problem: 200 feet is the length, 100 feet is the width, the fence has 3 sides, and $5 per yard equals the cost of the fence material. First, we need to find the length of the fence. Perimeter is the distance around the figure, so that's the first thing we need to know, so we know what perimeter is. For the problem, the perimeter formula is P equals length plus width plus length, since the fence has 3 sides. So here's how to solve this part of the problem. So P equals length times width, length plus width times length. P equals 250 feet plus 100 feet plus 250 feet equals 600 feet. The problem is now asking how many yards, so we need to convert feet to yards. Here's the work for this. So 3 feet equals 1 yard. So 600 feet divided by 3 is 200 yards. Now that we found how many yards the fence is, we can now find how much Mr. Shore will spend on the material. $5 over 1 yard times 200 over 1 equals 1,000 yards. Or $1,000, not yards, sorry. So Mr. Shore will spend $1,000 on fence material for 200 yards. And that's the answer.